Buonasera and welcome to Lisa's Italian Kitchen. Tonight I'm making for you one of my favorites, my Lisa's famous shirried mushroom soup. So this soup is chock full of delicious things: red wine, sherry, lots of mushrooms, my bechamel sauce. So it's not complicated to make, and it's a delicious, delicious, satisfying soup. So here I've got about 6 tablespoons of butter melting, and I'm going to add 1 cup of chopped onion and about 12 ounces of sliced mushrooms. Now these mushrooms are a mixture of white button mushrooms and baby bella or cremini. You can be, if you'd like to add porcini for a stronger mushroom taste, go right ahead. I love porcini in anything. But basically you want 12 ounces of a mixed variety of mushrooms. And we are going to stir this until the onions become nice and translucent and the mushrooms are limp or soft. Remember that you never salt and pepper mushrooms until they are fully cooked, because they're so delicate, they become very tough if you add the salt and pepper while they're cooking. So we're going to wait and let this saute nice and gently until everything is, the onions are translucent and the mushrooms are soft. Now, while that's doing that, let me tell you a little bit about this soup. This is a Tuscan mushroom soup, hence why it has the red wine and the sherry. I never cook with wine that I don't drink. So I don't buy the cheap wine to put it, oh, it's just in a recipe. No, because you're going to taste that wine, and that wine is going to flavor your dish. So here today, I'm using one of my favorite Chiantis from Tuscany, Santa Cristina. It's a wonderful brand of wine from a wonderful vineyard and not overly priced. So shortly, we're going to be adding a cup of the red wine. Here, I'm using a Harvey's Bristol Cream for my sherry. This is a classic. It's been around for more than 50 years. It's a wonderful, rich, smooth, velvety sherry. Spain and Italy are also known for their sherry. So if you want to spend a little bit more and buy an imported sherry, that's fine too, whichever you like. But I just love the Harvey's. Okay, so here we have this stirring. Now, as soon as this becomes a little more cooked, we're going to begin to add our liquids. I'll add my salt and pepper and then all the liquids for the soup. Another tip about this soup, and the reason why it's so rich and velvety and wonderful on a cold, chilly autumn night, maybe eating it by the fire, is that it has my bechamel sauce in it. Many of you know from my other recipes, my bechamella. In Italian, we say bechamella, the French say bechamel, is a flour, butter, whole milk mixture, which adds a creaminess to soups. Do you ever go to a restaurant and you say, gosh, I wonder why my tomato soup doesn't taste like this when I make it at home, or my mushroom soup? They're probably making a roux, also known as a bechamel. A roux is R-O-U-X, the French word. Again, a combination of butter, flour, and milk. Okay, so here we have our mushrooms and our onions cooking down, getting nice and translucent. So I think we can add our salt, about 1.5 teaspoons of salt, about 3/4 teaspoon of freshly ground black pepper. And now we're going to start with our liquids. I'm going to take 1 cup of my Santa Cristina Chianti. Oh, listen to that roar. Isn't that lovely? And here I have 3 cups of vegetable broth. I use the vegetable, we're doing mushroom. I just think that it's a more consistent flavor than introducing a chicken or a beef broth. So we're going to add our vegetable. Now you can make your own vegetable broth by boiling your vegetables. That's a wonderful way to do it. Or now you can find such wonderful organic vegetable broths at in many stores, Whole Foods, Trader Joe's, anywhere. This is going to cook down for 20 minutes. In the meanwhile, let's make our bechamel. So now we have our beautiful onion, mushroom, broth, red wine, and seasonings mixture. I've blended it, and you see that gorgeous texture and velvety texture of the blended mushrooms. Now we're adding our bechamel. Bechamel is literally just like liquid velvet. Butter, whole milk, and unsalted butter, whole milk, and flour. So we'll just stir this in and make it very creamy. It's a sort of the last final touch to a soup that really gives it that creaminess and that velvety texture that we love to have in our soups. Now I'm going to add a half a cup of my sherry, and this is going to give it, again, just the flavor, just a little bit of the sherry flavor, not too much, it's not overwhelming. And we're going to just cook it for about 5 minutes. A little bit of that alcohol will cook off, but the flavor will remain. So those are all the ingredients. Now, sort of the cherry on the top of this soup is that I kept 4 ounces of sliced mushrooms apart, and I sauteed them just in a little bit of unsalted butter. And what I'm going to do, as this cooks with the sherry, I'm going to add these beautiful mushrooms, and they're going to float in the soup. And this way, when you make your plates for your family or your guests, and you serve the soup, you can just serve a lovely bowl of soup and then put a few of the whole sliced mushrooms on top. Absolutely delicious. Look at that velvety, delicious texture. It's perfect. So this is Lisa's famous sherried mushroom soup, perfect for a fall or winter day. Buon appetito, tutti a tavola. Ciao, ciao.